speaking about your choreographies and your creations, can you please elaborate a couple of productions which you feel really brought out the essence for you as a person? And of course, there's always the audience saying, oh, this is beautiful, but at the same time there is something you have felt that, oh, this, I really can connect with myself with this particular phrase, or even a dance whole piece, or a whole composition.
I tell you something. What I'm if you really see into my predictions and my repertoire and things, it's not very common thing which I've done. So I've not gone on a very common note, or very common which everybody does. I'm not in. So because in Mohiniyattam, what I, from the very beginning, it was always said, "Ha, Mohiniyattam, मैं क्या करूँ? What is there in Mohiniyattam?" So this used to irritate me a lot. Yeah? I never used to like it. The way people, the attitude people have towards Mohiniyattam. So it was Kaval. I also asked Kavalam sir, "Sir, can we do this? Can we do that?" All those. Sir, it was sir who told me, you can do anything in Mohiniyattam, whatever you want to communicate, you can use the art form as medium. Whatever the other art forms does, you can also do it in Mohiniyattam. But the frame should be intact. The frame of the art form should be intact. And the flavor of the art form should be intact. So that is what brings out the best in the art form. Correct? So that is what gave me courage to explore whatever I wanted. Because I always thought, when you do, it's very personal. I'm just speaking about my experience. Okay? People may not agree, but I always thought that doing a Virahot Kandita Naika, or a Kantita Naika, or a Swatina Patika Naika, in current situation, in current world, in this new gen situation, sometimes, or if you go and do that in a very maybe school or a college level, they may not connect to you. They may not think on your lines. They may not come with us. What is nonsense? रोती रहती है, ये क्या है ना? आजकल के बच्चे ऐसे ही सोचते हैं ना. So I thought it cannot be like you perform and then you have a gap with the audience. Why is that? You cannot say Mohiniyattam or classical form. There has to be a connect. There has to be a bridge. So it is our duty also to bridge that gap. You have to put a bridge across, bridge to them, so that they can also slowly start coming up, climbing it. So how can you do that? So you cannot be like, you cannot dilute an art form and come to their level. But you have to elevate them, yet communicate, yet bring them together. That's a challenge also. So that is how I took up topics like Bhaji Govindam, Ritu, and choreographies like Chandrayan and Indradhanush, all that. So in Bhaji Govindam, of course, it speaks about the journey of a human being from cradle to grave. This is ever contemporary. You can perform this in anywhere in the world and people will relate to it. So are the seasons. You enjoy this nature beauty is also the same. Everywhere, anywhere, people directly communicate. I've done Varsha Gamna. I've been doing that for past 15 to 17 years, and people still say, "Oh, हमने छाता खोल लिया, भीग गए बारिश में." So that is a great honor, great communication. And also from here, I must say, I also did a padam called Yashodhara in Africa once, long back, and I did introduce the art form, but the end of the item, I saw tears in the eyes of the Rasikas, the audience. So art communicates like that also, like that. Art communicates. But this is an effort, an extra effort for Mohiniyattam, and also to enhance the repertoire of Mohiniyattam. You need to think beyond a Varnam, a Padam, Ashtapadi, and all, and think beyond the Nayikas also. You cannot, many Nayikas, many heroines I portray, I cannot put it into the Ashtanayika frame. No. So it's all beyond that. So I like to work like that. I like to do my works. I do Swati Tirunal because I do the Sadhu Tirunal festival here in Delhi. So I do a lot of Sadhu Tirunal kritis, and I do Kavalam sir's compositions, and we take lyrics from the Vedas and text and do a lot of things. But these are the things I like to work on, so that, you know, the art forms come forward. Art form comes forward. I'm not looking at enhancing my own repertoire. I'm looking at enhancing the repertoire of Mohiniyattam, so that it develops, and it gives others also, becomes an eye opener for others also to think and to develop, and give them also a push, you know, how you can do that also. So that is how I've been very fortunate like that, because when ISRO launched Chandrayaan, when the ISRO team had come to Delhi for their felicitation, so we had given the organization here had given them a welcome, felicitated them. So I was asked to present something, present Mohiniyattam. They said present Mohiniyattam. So I thought, present Mohiniyattam in front of them. If I do a Ganapati Stuti, and this, that will not communicate with, that will not connect to what that occasion is. So I went and read about Chandrayaan, and went to the Department of Sanskrit and got verses about moon from the Vedas, and then I made a script on how you look at moon as a child, as a youngster, as an adolescent, as a grown-up adult, and then how your inspiration, you get inspired, and your aspiration and your aim, your dream to reach the moon, all that. So how do you develop? How does a person develop like that? And it was, well, everybody was like, Mohiniyattam mein Chandrayaan kya karenge? Kya karne wale? Aise. But at the end of the performance, we had Sheila Dikshit, we had ISRO Chief Madhavan Nair. Everybody was like, wow, that was a presentation. So that gave me a lot of courage, confidence and courage to do things like that. So that is how I like to work on things like this. So then I've done Indradhanush on the colors. That was inspired from 4 lines of Ayyappa Panikkara's poem. Or no, Ayyappa Panikkara's one presenting a paper. So it says, a single tree cannot make a forest. A single color doesn't make a rainbow. A single wave doesn't make an ocean. So likewise, we are all answering the colors of the neighboring person. And there's actually only one color. There's only one truth, one color, one energy. So I worked on that and presented a production on colors. So it was also beautiful. It went very well. Then I've done, I've worked with, of course, we have done multi-style productions, a lot of multi-style productions with Kathak, Odissi, Mohiniyattam, Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, all that. With Birju Maharaji, Sonal Man Singh, and legends, all legends. I've been very fortunate that I don't think any other artist had that opportunity. I've been very fortunate. I worked with all that. But I also took the art form like Kathakali, Kudiyattam, Kalaripayattu, Theyyam, and worked with that. Like we choreographed. I choreographed a thing called Layalahari with Kathakali, where we had an hour-long, it was not 10 minutes, it's a 1 hour-long production with Kathakali and Mohiniyattam, exploring the similarities and contrasts of each style, not only in the performative way, but also musically and rhythmically in every aspect. And then I did a production with Kalaripayattu called Shakti, which again was premiered in NCPA, where you have the female and the masculine energy. The Kalaripayattu an aggressive art form and Mohiniyattam a soft one. And how you can, we had the Kalaripayattu artists only with us, and then how the movements collaborated, and it was brought out in a very story-like pattern, and it was also very well. So I like to work things like that.
That's very interesting. It's nice to see that different dance styles, even martial art forms, which is of course Kalaripayattu is from Kerala, you have incorporated all of those aspects also in your productions, which I not seen actually many people do that in Mohiniyattam. I've seen it in many other dance forms, especially Bharatanatyam. I've seen a lot of it, but this is very, very interesting. You were talking about the Nayikas, right? Of course, you said sometimes it depends on the audience, how educated they are and how they are able to relate to it. Their age group matters a lot. Their thinking, their exposure to this current situation. It's like, I do agree with you when they are saying, I am sorry, I cannot keep waiting for my Nayika, I've got better things to do. I understand that part of it. And yes, it's nice to know that, you know, how you have actually thought of creating to the occasion, to the situation, to the audience, but you also enjoyed performing it. You have got that connect with what you have created, bringing me to the Abhinaya aspect of Mohiniyattam, where yes, I've seen the really very subtle ways of using the different parts of especially the face, the mukha aspect of it. I know, again, all the training that goes into it, I do understand. But how do you plan or create a Abhinaya piece with those aspects?
See, again, the Abhinaya, as I told you, is it's very personal, you know, the way how you want to portray that particular scene or your particular Naika, or how you conceive the whole idea. When I took that Ashtapati on Keshi Madana Murara, which is very erotic, very beautiful, but it is very sensuous. Certain lines are very very erotic also. So, but it is, you know, as a dancer, you're performing on the stage. It's you can read it in whatever way it's do. But when you do it on the stage, when you present it, and then you have the Sanjari, it is very important to know till what extent you can show, where you should stand, and what all you can show and how you can. So when I show that Pratama Samagama Lejjitayan, so I did. So it is Pratama Samagama. The first time when you meet, you're very hesitant to look up. So all these aspects has to be worked. So how will you work on that? How will you do? So when I teach my students also, I'll say you. So you have to understand what that Prathama Samagama means. And you have to understand it from the perspective of the Naika, the heroine. And here again, that is, she's a very young Naika, very young, soft Naika. So वो essence, वो softness भी आना चाहिए, वो naivness भी आना चाहिए, वो shy भी आना चाहिए, or everything should be there. So you have to slowly, and according to what will enhance all this is the music. इसमें म्यूजिक में अगर रिदम जान रही तो ये सब नहीं आएगा. It will go waste. So the music also should be very slowly developing, maybe veena or a flute which slowly develops and not what do you say, not very loud, very melodiously and very softly it should go and fade in karke, then blossom. Should be very complementing to the mood and complementing to the abhinaya of the dancer. So this is how I develop. So even when you hear again, even for the abhinaya, there is a lot of usage of our body. Not only the facial abhinaya. Abhinaya, as we said, the Chaturvida abhinaya, the Ankika abhinaya is very important. So for me, Ankika abhinaya is very important. In Mohiniyattam, I use a lot of body movements also for the abhinaya. So like, you know, when I showed Shringara and this, ye karke, मैंने वो एक subtle usage of body किया है, ठीक है? But that communicates a lot. And when you show the Purusha or the male character, when you show and then you show the Avalokana, they look, he treats himself with himself with the eyes, and then उसमें भी है ना थोड़ा सा, ज़्यादा नहीं, but little, if you give that movement, it looks beautiful. So even when I do the choreographic aspect also, I think we had shown for the Sharad Ritu. The Sharad Ritu on the full moon, the lady here, the Naika is in pain of Viraha, and the moon is in full death. Now she is thinking of the full moon day here. So what I did is, so I was sitting as the pained heroine, thinking of the night, a full moon night where I spent with my beloved. So on the backdrop, little away from me, I showed that union. So you create that image. Maybe there should not be lot of movements. It has to, because here she's in pain. You cannot do a nritta there. Maybe nritta can be also done, but there is a way you move so that intimacy, that sensuousness, that love, everything comes in those moments where the two dancers are dancing. So this is how I create the pieces.
You just mentioned the sensuousness part of the whole abhinaya aspect, or even the body, how you express it through the body, and which I think is very beautiful in Mohiniyattam. The sensuousness that comes out is like amazing. How would you guide someone probably who has a lot of inhibitions?
You draw the line. Where you draw the line.
Yeah, inhibitions. First of all, to get over the inhibitions of having to express it. And also, like you said, I was about to come to that. How to not get into something which is too crass or vulgar. It shouldn't reach there. At the same time, it should not be so subdued that you can't even figure out what is happening.
Correct.
So that balance.
Yeah, somewhere, I don't know, I once performed this Keshimatharam Vindara in India International Center, and Kavalam sir, I didn't know that Kavalam sir was there in the audience, he was watching it. So after the performance, somebody was sitting next to sir, came and told me, sir said the Ashtapadi was very beautifully portrayed and with all aujitya and everything intact, and you didn't cross that limit, and no vulgarity was it, didn't cross that limit. That is where the, so unknowingly, I it was not a conscious effort, but maybe my training you receive, you know, you, that all adds to it, you know, how you been trained, how you received, and what discipline you were in, how disciplined your training was, and all that, and what was taught to you, everything adds. So when I tell my students, mostly when it comes to sensuousness and a Sambhoga Shringara, although you do a Sambhoga Shringara with eyes and everything, I make it a point that, you know, you do it with your body. With your body. But again, we're using because I feel when you do a Sambhoga Shringara, using too much of this thing, it looks very vulgar on the stage. We have seen a lot of, when you see a lot of young dancers do it very vulgar, you yourself feel like, oh my God, this cannot be done in dance. And it doesn't look good on stage. To be, I myself have felt many times. So I'm very, very careful when I tell my students, you know, I tell them this only. So you've grown up to know what you should know, what you cannot do. You know, I don't need to tell you. So when you do a Sambhoga Shringara, your body can go in a certain way. Say when you're hugging, you hug karke, you can. I think this conveys much more than when you do all this and all those. So the sensitive approach to these things are very important. And these are so you should, I feel a strong need to tell the students, you know, it has to be done. This is what you have to do, but it should not look vulgar. Now you do and watch yourself on the mirror or record or see, or you do it in front of me and I'll tell you which angle, which movement makes it vulgar or which has to be done more. So it's very important. Even sometimes, you know, the eyes, the lips and all, which has to be used very sensitively, very, very, you know, it should not look vulgar. That's not a good idea.
So that's that the way you expressed it was really very beautiful to see that done so beautifully. I mean, I lost for words. So very broadly, we have like been able to cover some aspects of yoga and some aspects of Abhinaya. I'm sure there's a lot more there, and it was very interesting to hear about the productions that you have created and the themes that you have addressed. Actually, very, very interesting.
One more production I would like to say is that this one is, I'm always in love with this production because I've never been able to repeat it anymore. This was Unbound Beats of India, बोल एक festival है, so we had to production to thematize था, ठीक है. So I was like, क्या करेंगे, Unbound Beats, and then I spoke to Kavalam Padmanabhan sir and we created something. So and nobody expected me to do something like this in Mohiniyattam. So I was on the stage with like, you know, we had a tawil, we had mridangam, maddalam, edakya, chenda, sitar, and flute, no, sitar, and no lyrics, only one Vaitari and Ala. This was about a water drop traveling down. As the drop travels down, she comes to the plains, she becomes a young woman, and she adorns herself with all the stars and this and with jewelry. and then she sees the great mountain, and she encircles where their love happens. And then when in love, everything is fair in love and war, na? So she was very happy and cuddled there. So she was entangled in the love. And again, this is unbound beats. So then later on, she was frustrated, irritated, and everything, and she broke open, and then she flowed into the silence. So this was a very beautiful piece, and it was the total and everybody was like, I had the honor because the hall was full of artists only. And next day my phone was continuously ringing. And even that evening, the minute I came behind the stage, I heard one voice, Sunil Kothari. He was there. Where is Jaiprabha? Where is Jaiprabha? And he was like, my God, what a presentation. And nobody expected a Mohiniyattam presentation to be like that. That was more important. And everybody was glued to their seat. Kya kar rahi hai bol ke. And it was a बहुत सुंदर presentation, बहुत सुंदर. You can watch that in YouTube. It's there on the YouTube. It's a very beautiful, very close to my heart. It's such a beautiful piece. I cannot tell you. And the music by Kavalam Padmanabhan sir is amazing. The way he's designed the music is so beautiful. We used chenda, edekya, tawil, and sitar. Sitar for the water drops was so beautiful it was. And then, so that is again a lovely production. Even Sunil Kothari has quoted it in his Memories of Mohiniyattam or something like that. He has quoted this. So this amazing piece. So that's one totally different production it was.
So I would like to thank you very much for having shared so many lovely aspects of Mohiniyattam and so many intricate aspects of Mohiniyattam. Like I especially liked right at the beginning when you mentioned about that moment, when you mentioned the branch of a tree, you know, the imageries that you create. See, that is so important when, especially for us as a performer, and also when you're teaching students. There has to be some point where you have to hold on to be able to grow from there and create.
Correct.
Whether it's movement or a whole production, whatever it is.
Correct.
You need something to hold on to, an anchor. So it's nice to know that those imageries form a part of whether it's nritta or abhinaya. That is very beautiful. And your unique thought process when it comes to presenting themes in Mohiniyattam, I'm sure it's created a big wave. It's fantastic, and you're such a beautiful dancer. I think I mentioned it a long time ago, but I have to say it again. It's a joy to just sit and watch, you know, as you speak and as you do. There's a subtle movements, and it's I know we are not like sitting in person, but this does feel as close as we can get through use of.
Yeah, correct. These times.
Yes. I mean, which I'm not sure. Otherwise, me coming to Delhi or you coming to Bangalore, I'm sure it would have happened at some point of time. But this kind of an intimate chat, I would like to call it, has been. I'm very honored, and I'm very happy that I got an opportunity to speak to you and share.
Thank you. Yeah, good. Thank you so much. I also enjoyed talking. I was not also very. I was thinking what to talk on. I thought you'll ask. I'll talk accordingly.
Yes. It's just a conversation. So it's like just to have an idea about another artist, another art form, and considering that you also have the background of Bharatanatyam. So all that makes it very interesting to know how the thought process is behind, be it a movement for Nritta or be it a movement for Abhinaya. It is always a never-ending quest, I would say, to figure out how each person figures out.
Thought process is very important. How you think about something and then develop on that, and what you want to do, what is it that you want to present, and it also should be, it should also have your connection. You should also be able to connect to it.
Yes.
It's not, if you feel detached to that idea, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm always like that. So if I don't feel like, if I don't feel like, oh, ye karna, ye mujhe nahi acha laga, then I don't do it. I don't feel like doing it, I don't do it. Because I will not be able to bring anything into it. So then why should you, just for the sake of doing, why should you do it? I don't do it. That's very important.
Yeah, that is a very important aspect actually. Sometimes doing it just for the sake of doing it for various other reasons, but your own joy.
Yeah.
That's there. I mean, I think when you enjoy doing something, automatically the onlooker will enjoy watching it.
Correct. That's one. Here I would say, like to say something. When I first went to Kavalam sir, that is when I got all this, So he is like my God. He will not. He says, I'm not a dancer. I don't know about dance. But one thing he will say will change everything. That is how it is. So I was doing this. I told you about the Varsha Gamna piece. So that's the first piece I worked with sir. Kavalam sir, the very first piece. And that piece I'm still doing it. Okay, and all these years. So he said, you have the rain drop. Rain, when you have the drop here, it's a joy, and it's a Adbhuta is also there now. And you feel that you feel that cold and lot of things, and you enjoy that also. So when the drop falls, enjoy it, feel it, which is very important. And see, that made all the difference. The minute he added jiki jiki takkampe, jiki jiki takkampe, these are the sound of the rain falling on the leaves of coconut trees. So he brought in those so that it gave a regional flavor. Texture is very Kerala, very regional texture. And then when you do this, and the rain effect comes, so that one thing changed the entire composition.
That's wonderful to know. I mean, how an idea can actually make the whole piece so come to life, literally.
Yeah, actually, that is when I do the end portion, we were drenched. We opened our umbrellas. These are and it was very cold. We felt cold after rain. So all this, I've got these comments from all over the world. Wherever I traveled abroad, also this item was. And when I go there again, they say, please do Varsha Gamna again. Please do Varsha Gamna. So it was nice.
I think that is very important for an artist and for the art form itself, to be able to grow and progress and reach don't know where, but then at least progress. and the fact that the audience, like you said, are able to connect with that, I think that makes all the difference.
All the
artists and of course for the spectators.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much once again for being part of the Movement Nuances series. And I would also like to tell the viewers that you all know that Jai Prabhaji is there. You can see her. She has her own website and she has her own YouTube channel and all of it. You can definitely have a look at it. Yes, thank you once again, Jai Prabhaji.
Thank you, Chitra. Thank you, and all the very best.
Thank you for watching this video. Follow us on Instagram for more updates. Make sure you like, share and subscribe to our channel.